So this production group I found in the Hollywood, Los Angeles area is kind of turning the production scene upside down, or at least on its head, and I think it's really interesting. I wanted to talk about it with you guys. The group I'm referring to is called Cine Salon. They just recently moved to Los Angeles, and they're doing the thing. They're doing the thing that everybody kind of wants to be able to do with their own production group or with their own production business. They're working with big brands, and they're doing really, really well. So I want to tell you like what this means for the industry and how you might be able to implement this into your own style of thinking, or at least into your own production workflow. So just to give you guys kind of an idea of kind of what they've done and who they've worked with the U.S. Coast Guard, Kinder, Tag Heuer, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Haven't heard of Uphome, Jula, Bender, U.S. Coast Guard again, Pete's Coffee, right? So all these big names that you've heard of, a lot of really good material under their belt. But the question is, what are these guys doing that makes their work so much different from the other production studios in Los Angeles? And I've done a little bit of research. I've kind of done some of my reading about this group, and I think I've figured out what it is. So while other production businesses and other production studios in the Los Angeles area are kind of scaling back a little bit just because everything is so expensive nowadays, you got to pay for the cost of crew, you got to pay for the cost of any equipment that you're renting, location, you know what I mean? If you're not doing well just in general, and in these times it's really hard to kind of do well, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to have to scale back your business a little bit, especially if you're one of these big name heavy hitters. Well, Cine Salon is doing a completely different thing, and they're taking off right now. So we're asking ourselves, how did we get here? Well, brands are looking to outsource their projects, but don't want their expenses to be super huge. Or if you're thinking in the business mindset, they want ROI. They want a high ROI on their investment, so that if they're going to spend money, they know it's going to pay off. So how do these guys make it pay off? Well, that's the big question. What makes these guys different? Well, their philosophy is not about like the video looking super pristine, super crisp, really technically well produced. That doesn't matter. And these guys are right. That does not matter. Like, you could be the best cam op in the world, and if you don't know how to make your videos perform, you might as well be the worst cam op in the world. You know, that doesn't matter. What matters is making videos that perform and making videos that pull numbers online. And these guys have kind of figured that out. So the business is kind of struggling right now, and then enter Cine Salon into the Los Angeles area, and they were like, hey, we're just going to focus on just metrics, just performance, just the numbers, and everything that needs to go into our production to focus on those things. And we're going to see how we do. And it's paying off. These are not the traditional like filmmaking thoughts that you have going into a shoot, or at least not that I have, because me going into a shoot, I'm like, all I'm worried about is, do I have my mics? Do I have my lenses? Do I have this? Do I have my SSDs? Do I have yada, 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 whatever? Like, how can I best make the storytelling, you know? But I'm not saying storytelling is not important, because it is, but in the world of capitalism and fast-moving business, especially here on the West Coast, you got to keep moving, and you have to focus on what works and what doesn't. So basically said, if it doesn't convert, it doesn't work. By the way, I'm not sponsored by this company. This company has no idea that I exist. I didn't know that they existed until a little while ago when I stumbled across them and decided to do a little bit more reading. I just want to put that out there. I'm just impressed by what they've been able to do. But point is that focusing on these things like performance and metrics means that they can cater to any client, big or small. There's no project that they can't take on, honestly, just because in a world where everything is all about the vertical, the social, the shareability of whatever you're producing, like, if you have that mindset, that's the right way to do things. And these guys are obviously just promoting business the entire time, so it works for them real well. And what this means for the industry is that I think the industry is shifting, right? Just because everything used to be so just absolutely focused on storytelling. And again, like I said, I'm not saying that it's not, but metrics are king. In a business environment, numbers and metrics and performance are all that really matters, to be honest. I mean, and in essence, this is just capitalism, you know, because everything is how well does it sell? If it sells, you become successful. Just at the end of the day, video quality comes second to performance. And we're not strangers to that. We've known that for a while. Video quality is not the most important thing. It's nice if you have it, but it's not the most important thing. So this shouldn't come as a shock to you. Another thing that I thought these guys were just doing right that I wanted to touch on while I have you guys is how they approach their use of AI. And their approach with AI, I think, is really good. I think they're adapting well to the environment. They mention how AI alone is just not enough to really make something good, right? You still need to have that human factor, that human interaction that comes with whatever you're producing. You still need the expert-led strategy, the high-quality storytelling, and just the precise production that comes with having people on board. But that's not to say that you can't take advantage of AI. AI is changing the landscape, sure, but you still need people. What I really like about what Cine Salon's mission is and what they're doing is that they're keeping in mind the human element of their mission and their production. Just because, after all, it's people that consume content. TikTok does not watch TikTok videos. You know what I mean? These algorithms don't watch other algorithms. It's people watching these algorithms. And we are selling to people. We're trying to get people to buy things when we create our marketing content. So the big lesson here is just create content that performs with people. Don't focus on, oh, my color grading in the shot is so good, I'm going to sell a bunch of this, or this company is going to hire me for sure. They're not. They're not going to focus on that. They're going to be focused on performance. Like, how well do your videos perform? How many views do you get? If we were to hire you to work with us and pay you however much, what are we going to get in return of that? So that's kind of what they have in mind here. And I think that's just an important reminder for us all as we try to move through this industry and move through this landscape, that it's not all just about the production. It's not all about like the technical specifications or the technical qualities. Keep in mind what you're doing, who you're doing it for, and what message you're trying to get out, because your message is going out to people.